Are you ready? Are you ready for the comeback? Yeah.
Hi everyone, Peter Liciaga here. Hope you are doing great today. This is day 2 of my Living a Strong Life challenge. And again, I'm doing this for myself and for that one person out there, one of you out there that needs to hear this. And I'm going to do my best to share with you my thoughts on living a strong life based on my experience. I'm going to be 62 years old in May, and I'm reflecting back on my life, the lessons I've learned, and some of the principles and concepts that not only do I teach these days, but that I see in my life, in my history, my personal history, my life journey, that these principles really came alive through the real life that I lived, and they became living and active in my life. And so when somebody asks me, when I teach one of these principles, so what's the proof? What's your proof on that? How do you know it works? And I said, well, this has been my experience in my life, and this is how this principle, this concept, this idea became living and active in my life. So this Living a Strong Life journey, in this challenge right now that I'm doing over the next several days, I'm calling, it's basically the next 20 days. That's my commitment, is 20 days doing this one day right after the other. This is day 2. I did the welcome yesterday. If you haven't watched that, you can go right below on this page in this group right below. You can watch that. But what I wanted to do on day 2 is look at a way that we can qualify if we are moving in the right direction when it comes to living a strong life. And I like numbers. That's one thing I learned in running a business, and especially these days when I'm speaking to our parents or my clients, when I'm coaching them or I'm teaching karate students at Donato Karate Center, and I speak to a parent, and the parent tells me, hey, look, I want my child to improve their confidence. And then I will ask them, okay, on a scale from 1 to 5, I typically use 1 to 5 with our parents, 1 being novice beginner and 5 being mastery, whereas they've mastered their ability to do that particular skill. And mastery for me, that's what I tell the parents, this is what I tell our students. Mastery is simply being able to do something without thinking about it, what we call unconscious competence. Okay, and so I would say, okay, how's your child with their confidence? And on a scale from 1 to 5, and they would say, well, maybe they're like a 2, a 3. And some will say 5. I says, great, they don't need help there then. But if they say a 1, 2, or even 3, then I say, okay, great. This is what we're going to do to get them to the next number. If they are a 1, let's get them to a 2. If they're a 3, let's get them to a 4. You get the idea. So anyway, I like this number. And then when I look at my business or my goals for let's say, meeting my revenue goal. Let's say I have a number every month that I need to hit, whether it's in my business or my home, let's say my budget for home, paying my bills. This is what we need to meet. This is the number. So how are we doing? And we could do that on the first week of the month, the third week of the month. We look at the number of the money that came in. I think you get the idea, right? So the question is, what is your living strong number, or what is your rate? So what I want to do is I want to talk about what your number is, living strong number, what your rate is. And rate, I created an acronym. Each letter, R-A-T-E, represents something, and R represents reflecting. What I want you to do is reflect on the different dimensions of your life. We have those 3 P's, right? Those 3 areas of your life. You have your physical, you have your personal, and you have your professional, those areas of your life. Now, physical has to do with your mental health and well-being, your physical health and well-being, strength and all that physical, and also spiritual and emotional. This is what I'm calling the physical aspect of your life, that category. Okay, and I believe without the physical, right? That's your core of your life. You want to make sure your physical, your mental, your spiritual, your emotional, and your fitness level, is on point. That you're doing all that you can to be strong physically in that area, because from there, that's like the center, I believe. Then it expands out to your personal life, to your professional life, and that's the core of your power, is your body, your being. And if you're not taking care of this, your mind, your heart, that heart of a warrior, and your body, then the quality of your life, personally and professionally, is going to not be where you would prefer it to be, like it to be, want it to be, need it to be, to experience a strong life. So we have dimensions in that area. We also have dimensions in our personal life, right? Our relationships, and we're going to look at those different dimensions there. And then we're going to look at the dimensions of your professional life, from your career to being, someone that brings value to your community, to your work environment. So we're going to look at that. And there's a total of 16 dimensions that I created that we're going to look at today. Now, you can add to it, take away, or take away from it. You can do whatever, but the idea is this. We're going to stick to the 16. We're going to look at these different dimensions in these 3 different areas of your life, the 3 Ps. And then I'm going to show you how I will rate. And I'm going to be honest with you about me. And when we do rate them, we're going to basically just think of the first number that comes to mind. And so anyway, we're going to reflect on those different dimensions of your life. We're going to assess them. And then we're going to give it a number. We're going to take the time then to consider which area, one area from those 3 areas of your life, what dimension of those 3 areas of your life that you're going to work on to improve, as we move forward in this. And then you're going to evaluate your progress. You're going to look back and think, okay, how am I doing today? How am I doing this week? In this one area, this one dimension of this area of my life, from physical, to the personal, to the professional. And this way it gives you an idea of how you can then set yourself up to live that strong life. Okay, and so this is what we call living a strong life on purpose, not by accident. And I think some of you guys may know that idea, right? Because if you want to live a strong life, be purposeful about it. Purpose yourself to live that strong life, and have specific things that you're going to do that are smart. They're very specific, measurable, achievable, reasonable, and time-based. That's what the 20 days are about for me. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and have a living strong challenge for the day. So let's go ahead and take this. I'm going to take this down, and I'm going to bring it to right over here, the physical aspect. Okay, so right below, in the comment section below, and you would see a link to the Google form that I created that you can go to, and that's going to be your assignment for today, to go to it and go through it. Okay, so let me give you an idea of what how I'm going to do it. Okay, so the first area, the physical area of your life, that's the first P. And there's 4 dimensions that I have here. Let me get my marker. And I'm going to use a red marker just so you can see that. So you can see that the first area of my life in this dimension, or the first dimension that I have in this area, this P, the physical, is mental well-being, my mind. And how's my mental state? If I ask myself right now, how's my mental well-being? And the first number I think of is, I'm going to think of a 7 to 8. And I want us to be extreme. Most people, and I find myself doing this as well, we try to pick numbers like in the middle, like 4, 5, or 6, somewhere in the middle. But let's force ourselves to be extreme. For example, if I say, okay, look, I'm like a 5 or 6, then let me then say either a 9 or an 8. Get extreme on it. If I say, well, I'm a 4 to 5, let's get extreme. Let's go to 1 or 2. Okay, then it gives us room to grow. Okay, so let's be pretty extreme on this. Okay, this way we can avoid doing everything in the middle. Okay, and so my mental well-being these days, right now, my first number I would say, like say an 8. I'm going to say an 8. So let me put that over here, an 8 right there. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that number and I'm going to write it in my journal right now. So you guys are going to do that right now. So this is my journal. So what I'm going to do, I have them mental, and I'm just going to write the number down. I don't have to worry about writing down mental well-being. I'll go back and reflect on that. And so I'll put number 8. Okay, because we're going to use that number in a little bit for our total. So let me put that down there. Okay, and so now my physical well-being, let's say my strength, my mobility, my flexibility, and my energy in my body, my ability to feel alert more often than not in the course of the day, especially when it counts. When I think of, okay, what is my number for this dimension, I'm going to say a 9, because of the habits that I've created and what I'm doing with respect to where my body is right now, today, and everything I'm doing, the rest and like that, I'm going to say a 9, because I have a lot of energy. I go through my whole day. I'm doing all the right things right now. Okay, and so there. Now emotional, I'm doing pretty good. So I'm going to say I'm an 8 on it, and especially today. Now, last week, if I would have done this last week, I would have said probably like a 2 or a 3, because last week I was struggling. So that's why I'm saying that as we move forward, take the time to consider all your areas, and evaluate every day. Sometimes you have to get up. I have a journal that I have make available to my students and my clients, where it's a journal, and every day in the morning they rate themselves. They give themselves a number, and then at the end of the day they rate themselves, give themselves a number. And so this way, every day, twice a day, they are rating themselves. They're reflecting, they're assessing, they're taking the time to consider, and then they're evaluating how they're moving forward, how they're feeling. And so it's important. But today, my number is for emotional is going to be, I'm going to say 8. And so I'm feeling pretty rock solid today, and it's a good day. Okay, and it's a good day for me more often than not. And I do have those days, like everyone else. I struggle with this human condition, but more often than not, because of the work that I've done, which is why I'm bringing this to you and challenging myself to do this 20-day Living Strong challenge for myself and for that one person out there for you. But it's not because I'm perfect. It's because I've come a long way. I've worked really hard on this, and so this is where I am right now. So as we move forward in this category, this P, physical, okay, this dimension, number 3, emotional well-being, I'll say I'm an 8. Now, spiritual well-being, I'm going to say that I'm a 7, because I'm still working on that. And that's the first number that came to mind. The moment I said 7, my ego was saying, no, Peter, you're like a 9 or 10, because my core belief system and everything like that. But I'll be honest with you, there's certain things spiritually that I have a lot of big questions about. And so I'm going to say 7. I'm going to rate myself a 7, and right there, 7. Okay, so let me write these down real quick before I move on to the next page and the next P. So what do I have? I have a 9 there, and then I have an 8, and then I have a 7. Okay, my first P1. Okay, so I'll write that down. That's there. So let's moving on. So let me go ahead and flip this. Let's go to the next area. Next area is the personal. Okay, next area is personal. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dimensions of the personal. Okay, and so first one is family, my relationships with my family, my immediate family and my external family. And my first thing I'm going to say is as far as my whole family, I'm going to be completely transparent with you without details. I'll be very discerning about this, but with my rate, let me write these numbers up here. This way I can follow along. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right at the top. I won't do it at all. But for family, I'm going to say I'm a 2. And really quickly, I'll explain why. Because with my wife, great relationship with my wife. With my kids, great relationship with my kids. But I rate low because of my extended family, to my sisters and my brother. I can be much better. Something that I need to work on. It's something I've been working on for decades, and I've come a long way. But I want to be extreme on this. I need a lot of work with that, and also some other relationships I'm not going to share here with you guys, only out of just consideration to the other members in my family. But because of those relationships, I'm very low. I need work on that. Now, if I were to look at my whole life, my whole 60 years from where I started, let's say in my 20s, going through my 30s and 40s, I would say right now I'm a 9 if I compared to that. But I don't want to do that. I want to say, look, I'm doing great, but there's work to be done, and I want to take it seriously. I want to be extreme. I'm a 2 on that. Okay. Now with friends, I'm going to be extreme on this as well. I don't connect with my friends as I believe I could, so that I could build stronger relationships with my friends. And so I'm going to rate that also a 2. And I'll tell you why. I see myself as an introvert, and I remember a couple of weeks ago I was invited to join a group for introverts that are entrepreneurs that are introverts, and so I had to look at a definition. I found a great definition for extrovert and introvert that I'm comfortable with. An extrovert is someone, like, say, for example, if you go to a party. Okay, like my wife is an extrovert, and and I would say I'm an introvert by this definition. We both go to a party, and there's all these people there, and we both go. And more often than not, when we know we're going to a party, my wife is right away, yes, I want to go. Let's go. Me, I have to really ask myself, do I really want to go? How will I feel? So that's a lot of thought before I go. So once we get there, okay, right now I've trained myself. I can engage in conversations, and I'm enjoying it and having fun. But here's where my wife and I separate, where she's the extrovert and I'm the introvert. The more we're there, the more she engages with people, the more energy she gets in her. She's more empowered, and she just gets energized, and it's just really empowering for her to be in that environment. And she becomes more animated. She speaks and she talks, and she is really truly the life of the party. If you want to have a great party, invite my wife, and that party becomes goes to a whole other level, because she is an extrovert. She loves being around people. She has the gift of conversation. She has anime. She is just a beautiful person inside and out. Me, on the other hand, when I go there, I'm engaging with people, I feel drained. I get more and more drained. As the evening goes, as the party goes, I become more and more tight. It drains me to be there. And when we leave, I am relieved. And so that's why I consider myself an introvert and not an extrovert. Question: what are you, introvert or extrovert, based on what I just described to you as my definition? Okay, so anyway, friends, this is my chance. That's why I'm low, because I'm working at becoming someone that is empowered when I'm around people. Like, the question is, can I convert myself from an introvert to an extrovert? That's the challenge, and this is what I'm working towards. Anyway, that's why I rate myself low, if that makes sense. Now, life partner with my wife, I'm going to say an 8, and because we have a great relationship. And there are areas that we still have to work on. We've been together, I believe it's going to be 37 years now, and we just celebrated our anniversary in November. And there's still work to be done. Okay, but that's the number I'm going to choose today, and I'm going to be extreme on that. That's my extreme number in that direction. And obviously we have 2, I can always raise it up, right? Even on my best day, I can always do a little bit better. And so I know that for a fact. Okay, so anyway, moving forward, home environment. Say in my home, the environment, both my wife and I, we have a great relationship. We understand each other. We understand and respect our space, our emotions. So we're at a high level there. Same thing with our kids. My son is 19, my daughter's 22, and we all really do respect each other's space. So I'll be extreme here. I would say that we're a 9. And more often than not, that's where we are, because we have a high level of respect for each other. And regardless of what's going on in each of our lives, we have that respect. So for me, that's huge, and I love that. Okay, so moving on, self-development, my ability to learn and continue growing, I would say a 9 here, right there, a 9. And because that's all I do. That's what I do. That's my MO, mode of operations, constant, never-ending learning. And at any given time, I'd be working through 2 to 3 books and going back and forth. I'd have the hard copy. I'd have the digital copy. I'd have the audio copy. I'd do research on the speaker, on the writer, and see if they have any videos out there. So I go deep dives into understanding. Like before I came on here, I spent several hours looking at what in positive psychology. I'm certified as a practitioner there. One of the things that we learned was this wheel of life. This is based on that wheel of life from positive psychology. So anyway, so I would say a 9. Okay, moving on, recreation, my ability to get out and to enjoy my day, just get out and do stuff that's for leisure. I'm going to go extreme. This is an area I really need work on, and I'm going to say a 2 as well for this, going up there, because I really don't take the time. In other words, getting outside and being in the sun, maybe taking a drive down to the beach, I don't do that, and I want to work on that. So extreme level, that's a 2. Okay, community activism, I'm going to say a 3 on that, because I want to do more. I'm not doing enough, and there's certain things that I'm doing now to improve on that, and that's another conversation for another time. But I'm going to stay low because I want to go higher on that there. And then my achievements, I'm going to say it's a 9, because there's things. Because I'm always acutely aware of the fact of where I came from, what I've come through, and the challenges that I have with mental health and all that, and everything that goes on in the world, everything, the responsibilities. I'm always acutely aware of the fact that I've achieved quite a bit, all things considered, and I'm very proud of that. And so that's my number there. So let me go ahead and write these down for this particular area, P2. Okay, let me get this down real quick. Okay, and let me see here. I have a 2. I have a 2. Because we're going to total all these up. I have a 8 there. I have a 9. I have another 9. I have a 2. And then I have a 3. Then I have another 9. Make sure I count that up. Remember, we're supposed to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 numbers. Okay, great. So now that's P2. So let's go to P3. Okay, again, this is going to be your homework, your assignment for the day. Okay, and then right below is that link to the Google form where you'll go through this. And again, you can give me your name and email and request a call with me, a free call with me, where we can review it. If you have any questions, we can go through the numbers. But this is what you'll be doing. Okay, that's going to be your assignment. Okay, now P3, professional. Okay, the first thing here, we have like 1, 2, 3, 4 areas here. Okay, 4 areas. So it's a total of 16 dimensions for our 3 P's, those 3 areas. So, okay, so let's go. The first area for professional is the financial well-being. Well, let me draw, financial well-being. Let me just stick there. Financial well-being, the sense that you financially are strong and you're confident, and so that if anything goes AY or something like that, you have what it takes to make it through financially. You can meet the needs. I'm going to say right away 8. I can always do better, but I'm going to say 8. Again, thinking of extreme, and I probably typically would be, let's say 4, 5, 6, maybe 5 to 6, but I'm going to be extreme. So I say an 8. And obviously I want to do better and better, but all things considered, that's my number for today, right? And maybe at any given time, less often, if you ask me, I might feel like a 2. Okay. Sometimes it's like that, right? But right now, an 8 with room for improvement. Career, work, and business, I'm going to right away say a 2, not because I'm not doing work that's meaningful to me, but there's more that I want to do, and so I'm going to rate myself low because I'm not doing all that I desire to do, that I have a passion for, and which is one of the reasons why I'm doing this challenge. Okay, I want to improve on that, so I'm going to be extremely extreme in my rating here, because if I wasn't extreme, I'd probably go for a 4 to 5. So because I had 4 to 5, let me get extreme, go low, okay? In 1 or 2. I'm not going to go to 1. I'm going to 2, being extreme, okay? And so now work environment. Work environment, I'm going to say a 3. And I'll be extreme simply because I would typically, I think if I were not to be extreme, I would say 5 or 6. So I'm going to go extreme. It's not a 2. It's definitely not a 1, because I enjoy where I work. I enjoy the work that I'm doing. I enjoy being online. All that, but I can do better, and I want to because I'm feeling like that's what I'm feeling. So I'm getting a little bit extreme there. So that's me being extreme on my satisfaction with my work and my work environment. Okay, so now leadership, role model. Okay, leadership. I'm going to go to a 9 because I've been doing this for a long time, and that's what I'm thinking of being extreme. If I were not being extreme, I most likely probably would say maybe like a 5 to 7, 5 to 7. But because I'm going to be extreme, I'm going to say a 9, because I've been a leader for a long time. I've come a long way on developing my skills to lead and guide and direct and be a role model. I'm very proud of the work that I've done. So that's what I've rated myself there of satisfaction. Okay, so now let me go ahead and put those numbers in on P3. Again, guys, right below, link to that Google form. So let me see here. Well, I have an 8. I have 2. I have 3. And I have 9. So now what we are going to do, and this is what you're going to do, I'm going to get a calculator. And I want to get a total of all those numbers. And let me flip this over. Okay, so the total, I want to put that total there. Okay, because then we're going to take that total, and then we're going to divide that by 16, and it's going to give me the average of that, right? It's going to give me the number, and that number is going to be my living strong number that I'm going to have as an overall number. So let me go ahead and get my calculator, put my calculator here. So let me go ahead and get this down. So we have let me clear out my memory. So put this there. So we have 8, we have 9, we have 8, and then we have 7, we have 2, 8, 9, 9, 2, 3, 9, and then an 8, a 2, a 3, and then a 9. And that gives us a total of 98. So let me put that up there. Let me get my marker. So the 98 would go here. Then I would carry that all the way over here. Now, I'm not a mathematician or anything like that. That's why I'm using a calculator, and this is just me doing it. But I think you get the idea, right? So now I want to divide 98 by 16 to get my living strong number, the average. Okay, so, and that would be 7. 7. So that's where I am, on a 7. Okay, and so 1 being for me, 1's, it's like I'm not happy at all, totally unsatisfied, and 10 being fully satisfied. I'm excited, I'm pumped up, and so I'm like a 7. So it's pretty good. So that's my living strong number, a 7. Okay, and so that's what you're going to do to get your living strong number. So what this does is gives me just an indication, just gives me something to work from. So I want to say to myself, okay, I want to improve that, let's say by 1. Okay, so what would my strategy be? So I'm going to look at one area, one dimension from each of those areas, from each of the P's, right? And then let me go back, and this is going to be your assignment. Let me go back to the first one here. So the first one. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to choose, let's say, my spiritual growth. I want to do that because that's the one that I want to choose. So I want to go from, let's say, a 7 to an 8. Okay, and so I'll come over here. Let me get another color marker. Let me get the blue one here. Let me use the green one. So I want to go to what I say, spiritual. Okay, so let me come right over here. Let me turn this up over here. Okay, and so that's a 7. So I'm right over here. My actual number is a 7, and then the physical, what I'm going to do is spiritual. And my goal is to get it to an 8. Okay, everyone see how this is working? Okay, so now, my goal there, we're not talking about exactly what I'm going to do. That's going to be my job, and this is going to be part of your assignment as well, but later on, not now. But you want to get that number. Okay, now personal, let me go to the personal. See, what do I want to choose from personal? So I come right over here, personal. I look at either family, friends, or recreation, or community. What I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on family. That's what I'm going to focus on. I want to take family and go from a 2 and get it a little bit better to a 3. Okay, now, do I want to get all the way to a 10? Yes. But remember, again, we spoke about the 8th wonder, right? The 8th wonder. It's about compound interest, and it takes time. So we want to be in this for the long haul. I'm looking at my life, not just today, not just next week, not just a year from now. I want for the rest of my life. I want to do habits that are going to compound and get better and better exponentially. And that's what we're talking about. So if I say to myself, okay, what can I do today, this week, to move myself in the direction to a 3, that because of that 8th wonder, Einstein talks about that, right? The compound interest over time. If I keep doing it, it'll get me there eventually. But I have to move in the right direction, be smart about it. It's very specific, measurable, achievable, reasonable, and it's time-based. So I know I can do something very little. Maybe send texts more often to my siblings, and then set up calls a couple of times. Whatever I need to do to build those relationships. So I'm going to go to family. Right over here, and family is a 2, this dimension, so right here 2, and family, and I'll just put relationships there, and I'm going to take the 2 to a 3. Okay, excellent. So now let's look at my profession. Come right over here, get the profession here. We're almost done, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so profession. Okay, great. So I have the financial well-being. I'm not really going to touch that because I'm here. Career, I think I'm going to focus on this. Okay, career, my work, my business. And, there's a career that I'm developing, being a speaker, and which ties into being a writer, but more of a speaker. Okay, that career with the work that I'm doing within the community, everything, martial arts, everything is in there. And then the business part, it all ties together. So I want to work, I'm just going to say, I'll say, what should I say? Well, I'll say career, okay? Career, and it's a 2. So it's a career, a 2, it's a 2, and my career, actually, matter of fact, I'll do work, I'll put all 3, and then business. Okay, I want to take that 2 to a 3. Okay, and so that's whatever. So now I have my living strong number, and I've chosen 3 areas, 3 dimensions, 1 dimension from each area, from each P, the physical, personal, and professional, and then I now have what I want to work on. Okay, guys, and yeah, that's it. Do I have what's the next one? Do I have the next one here? Nope. That's all I got. That's all I got. That's all I got for you guys. Hey guys, thank you so much for spending this time with me. I know this was about what it says just over 30 minutes, but it was worth it for me. And one of you out there needed to hear this. And I want to inspire you. I want to encourage you to do this. Right below is a link to the Google form. Go ahead and fill it out. If you want to share it with me, just share your name and email. If you want to schedule, let's say, a call with me, it could either be a phone call or what I prefer, let's say video. So if you want to meet face-to-face video, I prefer that because I like to see the people that I'm speaking to, and not in person only because of the logistics of getting together in person, but I still want to see you. So we have the technology. Let's use that. If you want to connect with me, let me know. Other than that, guys, that's all I got for you today. Tomorrow, I didn't write down what we're going to be working on tomorrow. That's okay. I'll let you know tomorrow, okay? But my goal is to be here. I hope you're there. Other than that, guys, have an amazing day. And I hope I covered everything. I think I covered everything, okay? You know what your assignment is, right? Assignment right below. Click the Google Forms link and do this this little worksheet, this form. Get your number. Choose one dimension from each of those three areas, from the physical, the personal, and the professional, and then set your goals and share it, write it in your journal. Other than that, guys, take care. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.